Welcome back. All right, so this morning I talked about a team run by Bill Armstrong. Now I'm going to talk about a team run by Doug Armstrong. Doug Armstrong, the general manager of the St. Louis Blues. The expectations, difference between Arizona and St. Louis, kind of major. Now, the Detroit Red Wings kind of dealt a blow to the St. Louis Blues depth in the offseason, picking up both Ville Husso and David Perron. Husso, good goaltender for them during the regular season. In the postseason, he had some issues here and there, and Binnington stepped in when he needed to. But yeah, Husso moves on. David Perron moving on. That one hurts. Perron, kind of a heart and soul guy during the 2019 Stanley Cup, and has proven himself a winner throughout his career. So Perron, that one hurts. And how St. Louis reacts to losing a key core guy like David Perron, we'll see, whether that window for another Stanley Cup is truly open. They won the Cup in 2019, and they've been trying to get back since. I haven't done anything crazy. They haven't had a whole, massive turnover when things don't work out. Looking back to 2017, 2018, the year before their Stanley Cup victory, they were 44, 32, and 6. They were 24th in goals for. They were 6th in goals against. They've had very good defense and goaltending throughout. 2018, 2019, they finished 45, 28, and 9. Famously were last in the league, yada, 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 and then they ended up winning it. 15th in goals for, 6th in goals against overall by the end of that season. And St. Louis was red hot going into the playoffs and ends up riding that to a Stanley Cup victory. 2019-2020, they were 42, 19, and 10. We then had the pause. Coming out of the pause, they were in the round robin, and then they lost against the Canucks. They finished 11th in goals for that year and 6th in goals against. So 6th in goals against 3 straight seasons. 2020, 2021, they finished 27, 20, and 9. 13th in goals for and 19th in goals against. So it looked like, things for St. Louis weren't looking great, and they got swept in the first round. And, well, what are we looking at here? Is St. Louis kind of falling off? No. 2021, 2022, they finished 49, 22, and 11. Excellent record. They're 4th in goals for last season and 11th in goals against. So the offense was there. The defense and goaltending slip a little bit. Now, their best month this past season was April, 12, 2, and 2. So they entered the playoffs red hot. Their worst month was March, where they were 5, 6, and 3. So March to April, night and day for them. So the exits I've talked about, Perron and Husso. Outside of that, there's bit players that have been lost as well. Dakota Joshua, who Vancouver envisions as being a key player for them, maybe even on the third line. Mackenzie McEachern, who signed a 2-way deal with the Carolina Hurricanes, and Charlie Lindgren, who signed with the Capitals. So no Charlie Sideburns storyline for St. Louis this year. That's a shame. Both Husso and Lindgren gone. A little bit of a hit to the goaltending depth. So new faces. Noel Acciari's been added. Josh Levo. Now, Josh Levo may not seem like a big deal, but I've got a picture of him right there because he won the MVP for the Chicago Wolves in the playoffs in the AHL. So, we'll see if Levo gets a shot at a job with the St. Louis Blues on their fourth line. Thomas Greiss has been brought in to be the backup. I think he's a placeholder this year. And then next year we'll see them. Probably, I would think Hofer's the guy who's up. We'll see. We'll see who the guy is up for being the backup. Jake Neighbors I've got there in red because he's a rookie. May end up in their lineup. Jake Neighbors plays a good 2-way game. I don't think it would hurt for Neighbors to get into their lineup and even play on the fourth line. Matthew Highmore's been added from the Canucks. So Joshua for Highmore, it's kind of like a trade there. Martin Ferc is added as well. Ferc can blast that puck, but the rest of his game, it seems to limit him to the AHL. So it's too bad. Their tandem in net looks like Jordan Binnington and Thomas Greiss, unless something dramatic happens. Down the middle, this is an impressive 1 through 4. And if this stays this way, if Logan Brown can build on the season he had last year, look out. You have Ryan O'Reilly, Robert Thomas, Braden Shen, and Logan Brown. Robert Thomas, fantastic season for him last year. Of course, Jordan Kairu broke through too. Kairu doesn't show up till you get the assist part of the board. I'm just throwing out there. Kairu had a really good year. And of course, Braden Shen, unlikely to end up on the third line, but if you roll 3 lines and you put Shen on the first unit power play. All right, anyways, that being said, the channel is voted and they're optimistic with St. Louis. 49% of the Hockey Channel has them finishing first or second. 40% has them third or fourth. 9% fifth or sixth, and 2% of the channel hates St. Louis. On the Hockey Guy side of things, 10,000 people voted, 10,000 plus, not exactly 10,000. On the Entertainment Guy side of things, 1,000 voted. So the votes getting up there. 41% first or second, 49% third or fourth. So a little less gung-ho on the other side of things. 8% have them fifth or sixth, and 3% of the Entertainment Guy vote went to seventh or eighth, meaning don't like St. Louis. So there's that. Now, when we get into Stanley Cup odds, the Stanley Cup odds have them at a plus 4,000. So if you bet 100, you make 4,000. It's not bad. Again, that's from OddsShark. Cap space, $625,000. So no. Any additions you want to make are a no. And that's part of the reason why Perron and Husso were gone, right? Just didn't have the money to re-sign them. And that's why the guys they've brought in, cheaper contracts, and they'll be looking for improvement from within. Who knows? Maybe the departure of Perron opens up a prime spot for a guy we're not even looking at right now. Their top four defense, pretty good. Marco Scandella, Colton Parayko. Parayko took a lot of blame after that loss in the playoffs against Colorado. I still like Parayko. If St. Louis decided they wanted to part ways with him, I would welcome him on any team I cheer for. Torrey Krug, who a team I cheer for still misses on the blue line, and I really wish they'd found a way to keep him. Justin Faulk as well. Justin Faulk may be the best all-around defenseman for the St. Louis Blues on this roster. And I'm saying maybe because there might be one you can argue analytically might be a little better, but I think Faulk's the best of the bunch. Breakthrough candidates, I'm expecting a veteran lineup with St. Louis, but I will say this. If there's an injury on the blue line, I think Scott Perunovich is primed for some kind of a breakout. I can't have Thomas or Kairu up there because both of them scoring about a point per game this past season. They've had that breakthrough year. Their coach, of course, Craig Berube, based on the 2019 Stanley Cup win, I don't think there'll be any pressure on Berube in terms of his job for at least 2 years, and that'd be like disastrous. I still think Berube keeps his job. He's a big man too, so it might be one of those, okay, today I'm going to do it. Oh, hi, Mr. You're big. No, I just wanted to tell you, great job. Everything's fine. Everything's fantastic. That's great. That's awesome. No, we would never fire you, Mr. Berube. Anyways, that would be Doug Armstrong, the GM. And so, yeah, this is a pretty good brain trust for St. Louis. We'll see how things go. Now, their goals leader this year was Vlad Tarasenko. And the status of Vlad Tarasenko is still a conversation point. He had 34 goals. Pavel Buchnevich had 30 to finish second in goals, which is a little more than Sammy Blais got for the Rangers, but I understand why the Rangers made the move they did, and the Rangers had quite the run in the playoffs. So I don't think they're overly upset right now at the loss of Buchnevich. The assists, Robert Thomas with 57. Thomas is capable of 70-plus assists in a season. I do think that's coming. Vlad Tarasenko and Jordan Kairu both had 48. So Tarasenko with 82 points. Kairu, as I said, he's really coming into his own. I think he had 75 points this past season. Look out. Kairu's a keeper. Special teams, 26.97% power play. Very good power play for St. Louis. Their penalty kill also excellent, 84.09%. So that adds up to more than 110 altogether. I mentioned with Arizona they were below 90, which is considered pretty poor. Being over 110 is kind of considered elite with special teams. So if St. Louis can keep that there, their record should be solid, right? So in terms of expiring contracts, we'll see how many of these guys stick around. You have Ryan O'Reilly. I cannot imagine Ryan O'Reilly leaving the St. Louis Blues, but if you asked me last summer, do you think David Perron re-signs in St. Louis, or do you think he goes somewhere else? My answer would have been, well, of course Perron re-signs. Why wouldn't he stay in St. Louis? Money was the issue there. So do they keep O'Reilly next summer? We shall see. Again, my bet would be yes, but we'll see. Vlad Tarasenko, excellent season he's had. Last we've heard, I don't think he's necessarily rescinded his trade request. We'll see if it ends up happening. Ivan Barbashev might be the most interesting one on the board here. Had an amazing season. So you want to see if he can follow that up with another one. But if he does, that contract next year becomes a lot more expensive. The risk, of course, is if you gave him an extension right now based on last season and then he has a fallback this year, the contract you've signed might be aging poorly before it's even kicked in. So we'll see how things go for Barbashev this year. I like the player a lot. I love his work ethic. Noel Acciari being added. I think that's an underrated signing over from Florida. Noel Acciari showed a couple years ago in Florida he can score when he gets the opportunity. Josh Levo, as I've said, and Levo is a replacement level kind of player. He's a fourth liner. But again, I do appreciate the players that stick around that don't run off to Europe. I understand the players who run off to Europe, but I also appreciate the guys who are willing to play in the AHL, willing to play whatever role they have to in the organization, and just seem to love the game of hockey. And Josh Levo seems to be one of those guys. Nico Mikkola is one that he's not in the top four defense, but I like Mikkola. And I'd be very surprised if St. Louis doesn't find a way to keep him around. And Thomas Greiss, they brought him in on a 1-year deal. I think it's a placeholder move for something else to come later on. But for St. Louis, it's going to be interesting. How much do they miss Perron? Do they miss Perron at all? There are times where we overblow it. And this is why I don't try to make such a huge deal out of one player leaving or one player joining a team. Because traditionally, historically speaking, one player doesn't necessarily completely transform a team one way or the other. When they exit, it doesn't necessarily mean that team is done and they're finished. And when one player joins a team, it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, the cup's coming. So hockey is a sport where you've got to have a really good team. It is, I think, in terms of team sports, I want to say it's right up there with the NFL in terms of one player can't make such a huge difference, but Tom Brady exists, so there's that. But anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you expect from the St. Louis Blues this year? Are they going to end up being back in contention? Can they get back to where they were in 2019? Or are they going to be a one and done? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.